Prior to accepting Christ, I was a normal, fun-loving, crazy, life of the party, it's all about me, man of this world. And I was empty all 40 of those years. I knew it. I was desperate. I did a lot of soul searching through my 40 years. I cried. I was unfaithful as a husband, and I cried every time I did it. Every time I confessed, and I started over. Every time. I have to say that I was probably a lot like a Pharisee. Maybe I would pre-confess, tell the Lord, "Look, I'm not going to do this no more. I got to quit. I got to stop." And that was me. And I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. I just kept living my life without Christ. I went to church, sat in the front row of church, but I played church my whole life. I accepted Christ one day at age 40 here at the Dayton feed mill. I wasn't in the church service. I was just at the end of a 2-month period of crying every day, being depressed, knowing I needed something more, knowing that there was just an empty hole in my heart. There was just nothing. Knowing that it wasn't about this. I lived my whole life knowing that it just wasn't about this. And I was in agony. God sent a woman in through the door of that office building over there, and I fell apart in front of a woman that I didn't even know, in tears, just letting her know that I needed help, that I needed Jesus. This is a woman that I didn't even know was saved. Didn't even know that she knew Christ. But I opened up to a woman and I said, I need help. She used the Bible and she used her knowledge to lead me to have a relationship with Christ. That started 40 years ago. And 15 years later, it's been an amazing ride. That I wanted to live God's will for my life, but I kind of hoped it had something to do with a beautiful wife, someone that loved me, someone that loved Jesus. And God blessed me with that. So I married Jennifer. Leah got a mom. We had a son. We have a beautiful son named Tyken. He's 6. Leah went to be with Jesus. She died at age 19. We have another little girl. Her name's Kiara. There's a real excitement when you walk with Christ. I don't have a good memory as to what the old me was like. I like to say, I like to share with people, it doesn't matter so much what you're saved from. What are you saved to? I have Christ right now. I have Christ in my life every day. I can get through minor things and gigantic things because I have Christ every day. I don't live my life like this. I don't look in the mirror. I don't care what's behind me. It's behind me. I'm looking forward. I've lived through some crazy and bizarre things after Christ. I hear some people sometimes preach about how when you get Christ, your food's going to taste better, you're going to make more money, everything's going to get great. I got to tell you, when you're sold out for Christ, it's going to get nutty, but it's awesome. There's nothing like it. It's amazing. I know my destination now. I know who has me in the palm of his hands. I know who loves me. I lived my whole life struggling for affection. I don't care. Whatever I looked for from the world, I didn't need it anymore because he gave me everything in that instant. And that changes your life. It changed mine. I was looking for a church home and looked around quite a bit and I heard from my older daughter that a group of people that I associated with years ago had started a church called Cornerstone. So the second time they were in the new building, we showed up as a family and walked in the door, and I actually have been sitting on the edge of the front seat for about 4 years now. If you go to Cornerstone, you know this part of me because that's what you see because I'm up front. But I've been on the edge of that seat listening to John, and many times when John talks about this or that could maybe be seen a different way, I'm ready to see how he views it. And that young man is on fire for Jesus, and he's spot on so far. I got 4 years where I'm ready to fight with him every time, and I can't because I'm believing that he's used by God every day, every Sunday to give us the truth. Don't ever say, what can I do for God? Because you can't do anything for God, but he can do something through you, and he is doing something through John. He's doing something through Cornerstone. A group of people that are wow, just a really strange bunch of imperfect people, and that is why Jennifer and I fit right in because we're just like the rest of them, and it's just fun. It's a blast. Every class of people, every type, size, and shape of person that there is in that building, and it's great. We love Jesus. It's a great place to be. So if you're struggling and you can't find your way, you don't know what to do, you got to seek Christ. You got to run after Jesus. If you don't know how to do that, find someone to help you. If you can't find someone to help you, come to Cornerstone. We'll help you. That's what we're about. That's our whole focus. But you can't do it on your own. If you think you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps, if you think, you know what, I'm going to tough this out, I'm going to make it. I can share a little bit about 2 months of my life where I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get air in and out for 2 months because I was going to do it on my own. I was just going to read this Bible and get good and figure it out. And you're not going to get good enough. You can't get good enough. He died on a cross because you're not good enough and never will be. So run to the cross. Run to someone that knows about the cross. Run to Cornerstone. Run to me. Run to me. There's nothing more exciting in my life than to talk about Christ. Nothing. And I like fun and crazy stuff, but let me tell you, nothing beats talking about Christ. So find a Christ follower. He's my Lord. He's my Savior. He's everything to me. It's why I live. It's how I live. Everything else is just stuff.